Hello. Welcome to Optimum Health Solutions. My name is OJ Odia. Today, we'll be talking about human papilloma virus. Why is this virus important? Why is it that we want to know about human papilloma virus? It is important and will be very interesting information to the whole family, the father, the mother, and all the children, especially teenage girls. So today, Professor Omosivie Maduka will tell us about human papilloma virus. Welcome, Prof.
Thank you very much, Prof.
So, what is human papilloma virus, and why is it important for us to know about it?
So it's quite an interesting and important topic. If you recall, in our environment in Nigeria, there's been quite a buzz about HPV, especially the vaccination, to vaccinate or not to vaccinate. So a lot of people have been talking about it. Some people are for vaccination, some people are against vaccination with HPV. So that's one of the reasons why this topic is so important. It's important for us to know what human papillomavirus is and then what other things that are attached to it, especially, I'm sure we'll come to vaccination at some point in the conversation. So human papillomavirus is a virus. And the interesting thing about this virus is that it is most often transmitted through sexual intercourse from one person to the other. And what is most significant, there are a lot of viruses. What is very significant about this particular one, it has the tendency to cause cervical cancer, which is one of the leading causes of cancer in women in the world today. So because of that, it is top on the rank of important viruses to look at and to understand. Yes.
Okay, why does HPV, human papilloma virus, why do we think it causes cervical cancer?
So a lot of research has gone into cervical cancer. So for a long time, researchers, the medical world, they didn't really know what was the cause of cervical cancer. In fact, it's one of those diseases will tell you there are a lot of risk factors. That's things that can make it easier for you to come down with the disease. But we were not certain what exactly. Until researchers started going to take samples from the cervical, and we'll talk about what the cervix is, cervical region, and started to identify the virus in those places. And with research that have gone on over the years, we have narrowed it down. The scientific community has narrowed it down that for virtually every case of cervical cancer, you can identify human papillomavirus at work there at that time or in the past. And so it has now been clearly established that there is a causal link between human papillomavirus and cervical cancer.
Okay, now that there is a link, and it's accepted as a link between HPV, human papillomavirus, and cervical cancer, what can be done about it such that the women, ladies, can prevent them from having cervical cancer? What do we do now that there's an organism that seems to be responsible?
Exactly. So, like many other diseases that you can identify a cause to be an infectious agent, either as a virus or a bacteria or something. One of the most effective ways to prevent it from happening, because if you wait for a woman to come down with cervical cancer, the chances of her surviving it are slim, especially if it is in an advanced stage. So this is a typical situation where an ounce of prevention is worth far more than a pound of cure. We're looking for how to prevent it. And one of the most effective preventive tools that we have today is vaccination. Immunization or vaccination has been found to be a cost-effective and a very, very thorough way of preventing
Can it not be treated?
So cervical cancer can be treated, and there's a lot of treatment for it. So, but you have to take it from preventing it. And if somebody does come down with it, what do you do to identify it early? That's where you now talk about screening. And then what do you do to prevent it? So there are, and we can take it step by step. Well, if you're asking me the most effective way to manage or prevent cervical cancer, I will tell you that it's actually vaccine.
Are there no drugs we can use to treat the virus itself while it's already, if say a woman is already infected with human virus,
Okay.
before it becomes cancerous or causes cancer, can we not treat it so that if we may not even need vaccination?
Beautiful, good question. So there are what we call antiviral drugs that are available to treat viruses in general, especially viruses in that category. But there hasn't been any drug that has been found to be effective against human papilloma virus. What the drugs tend to do is they will slow the virus multiplication down. They will reduce the ability of that virus to cause, serious illness, but the virus will continue to remain there. And once those drugs are stopped, the viruses can start multiplying again.
What about the use of viral antibodies? We know that there are certain antibodies produced by the body which we can extract and use it to fight the virus in a particular individual.
So that is even still under the principle of immunization, using antibodies from one individual who maybe is immune, and then immune means no longer able to get the disease, it's protected, that's the word. And then now using that on somebody else. But that technology hasn't been efficiently, they've not followed it up to the end. I'm sure research is still going on. But right now, what we have is, a compound, a vaccine that has been produced that targets the virus, that makes sure the body is able to recognize the virus when it comes in and fight it. That's what that vaccine does.
What is the immunization schedule for HPV?
So, to answer that question, permit me to just backtrack a bit. Before now, in our environment in Nigeria, for you to get vaccinated, for a woman, a lady, a young girl to get vaccinated against human papilloma virus, they would need to spend a lot of money, because that vaccine was not routinely available in the schedule of routine immunizations that are available everywhere. So girls between the age of 9 and 14, which is the optimum age for using this vaccine, we need to have to spend per dose probably sometimes between 40 to 50,000 naira in our own currency. However, it's now available as routine and free and affordable for people to use. So to answer your question, it's 3 doses of the vaccine. So different vaccine products have slightly different requirements.
Mm-hmm.
Similar to the COVID-19 vaccine, that some products is twice you will take it, some is once,
so it depends
some
on
is
the
3
company
times. So it actually depends on the company. The one that was most popular around when it was available in the private sector is 3 doses. So you take the first dose, then 6 months to 1 year you take the second dose, and 1 year you take the third dose.
It doesn't matter the age of commencement.
So it doesn't matter the age of, as long as it is within that. So really there isn't, but nobody is saying, researchers and the scientific community, the healthcare community is not saying that you have to be between 9 and 14 alone. No. What I'm saying is that it will work best.
Between 9 years and 14 years.
So the other question will now ask, the other caveat is sexual activity, that it will work better in women, in girls before commencement of sexual activity.
So 9
For sexual
will be a good day. 14,
Yes,
that would be a
9,
good age.
14 would be a good age.
Okay.
So, but older than that, for girls who haven't commenced sexual, it's
still okay.
It's
Can even be up to 20.
It is still
They have not commenced
it is still okay. Now we're even saying that even for people who have commenced sexual activity, research has shown, very recent research has shown that the vaccine is still useful for reducing their risk or their chances.
So it's still useful.
So it's still useful. Yes.
Okay. Now, you say it's HPV is sexually transmitted.
Yes.
Which means men should be affected also.
Oh, yes.
So why is there no vaccine for men or for boys?
Tough questions today. So the current concern with HPV is the disease that it is likely to cause in the future, which is the cervical cancer. Now, there are other cancers and other diseases that HPV causes. There's what we call genital warts, which are like tiny protrusions or swellings around the genital area. Sometimes they grow bigger, sometimes they don't grow like that. In men, because you have to wait what is the burden. That means what is the risk, how much of a problem is
it? Yes.
In men, even though men can get infected and men do transmit to women, it is not that much of a problem. In men, most men don't even have any symptoms. Most men will not come down with any illness.
So they don't know they are transmitting it.
Yes, for most men, the worst that will probably happen is a some warts in the genital area. Yes. But what is the reason why women and girls are the target for the advocacy for HPV vaccination is that in virtually almost all cases, many cases of exposure to human papilloma virus can lead to cervical.
Okay, thank you very much. So we now know that it's important to vaccinate let's say the teenage girl.
Yes.
With human papilloma virus vaccine. Now, if it's important, why has it not been immunization schedule? Is it just, I hear it's just coming in for some countries, they are just introducing the HPV vaccine to in the immunization schedule.
Exactly.
Why has it not been so since?
Good. So, it reminds me of the saying that there's no free lunch, even in Freetown. Somebody somewhere will have to pay for it.
But is it free now?
So it is free now.
So governments are giving it out free.
Yeah. So what had happened in the past, that I mentioned earlier, is that the HPV vaccine has always been in existence. For close to 2 decades, the HPV vaccine has been in existence, in use in Nigeria, in sub-Saharan Africa. In fact, much earlier than that, elsewhere in the world, it has been in use. However, and in many places free, available and affordable. But in Nigeria, it had been very expensive because people had to pay pharmaceutical companies to provide them.
Okay.
Now, the beautiful thing about vaccination, a national vaccination schedule, is not that it doesn't cost anymore. It's that people put money together.
Somebody is subsidizing it.
Somebody is subsidizing it. Our government is subsidizing. International partners and agencies are subsidizing. And there are so many organizations that are putting resources together to make this available. And that is because we have seen that cervical cancer is on the rise. It's a leading, in fact, in our environment, it's the second leading cancer in women. And the statistics say that in Nigeria, for example, annually, over 800,000 women die from cervical cancer. So having that large number. It keeps increasing. I think that our government is taking responsibility and saying it is time for us to put our resources behind this effort that will help to reduce the number of cases of cervical cancer.
Okay, I've heard it said somewhere, in some places, some fora, that the danger of taking the vaccine is that it makes you sterile. They will not be able to reproduce. Is there any truth in that?
Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. In fact, first of all, there's a lot of research that has gone in. So no vaccine goes into the market, no, without a lot of research. We call it trials. A lot of research has gone into it, and that research has shown that there is absolutely no side effects connected to fertility. It doesn't cause women not to be able to get pregnant. It doesn't cause sterility. It doesn't cause infertility. So that is scientific research and evidence. Now, let's also look at our experience. I've been in a public health physician for about 18 years. And as far back as 10, 12 years ago, the human papilloma vaccine was available and to my knowledge in this country and has been given. So I know people who took the vaccine 10 years ago. They are married, they have family.
They have children.
They have children.
So I need there's some anecdotal evidence.
Some evidence to say, look, it's not. Yeah, exactly.
Woman sterile.
Exactly. It doesn't.
So you are saying emphatically that this vaccine should be given to the target population to prevent cervical cancer.
Yes, I think that we should all take advantage of it. It used to be that before you could get the vaccine, you would spend as much as $40 to $50. Now it is available.
$50,000. How much is that in dollars or international years?
Let's do the conversion now. Probably about $5.
Okay, so
about $50. That's about $50. About that.
$5.
$50.
50.
It's about $50. 50,000 naira. It's about $50.
Okay.
So it's about $50. So now it's now available, and you can just walk into an immunization clinic, a center, government establishment, and get it. In fact, it reminds me of another myth, rumor that is going around about the vaccine, that it will promote promiscuity.
And once you have it, you are free to do it.
You are free, so it's like but nobody has ever said human papilloma does not prevent pregnancy. It does not prevent other sexually transmitted infections.
Okay.
Neither does it protect anybody against HIV, for example.
Yes.
So promiscuity is not in anybody's best interest. All it does is it goes and makes sure the body is able to recognize the human papilloma virus and fight it, so that the virus cannot stay and cause cervical cancer and other dangers. It does not in any way promote promiscuity.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Omosivie Maduka. And I think that's where we will call it a day for today. Thank you very much, viewers. Please like, subscribe, share, and let's see that this information goes around, and the more the viewers, the better for us and better inform the population. Thank you very much. Goodbye.